This is an easy, perfect filet mignon recipe. It's the basics, and you can use this for beef tenderloin as well, just the oven cooking time will be a little bit different. So what I have here is 5 pieces of filet mignon, and the difference is if tenderloin is one big piece, filet mignon is individual pieces. Sometimes they come already tied, sometimes these fillets are compact, and sometimes they need to be tied. So if the butcher hasn't tied them, go ahead and take some cooking twine and wrap it around, and it doesn't have to be a bow like I'm about to do. It could be a big old knot. Some of them don't need it, but the larger pieces and cuts generally need it to hold the tender beef together. So we're going to tie these up and then liberally salt and pepper all over the beef pieces. So first of all, dry them off. Make sure that's going to promote a better sear. Making them dry and having salt will promote the better sear. So sprinkle salt all over it, and whatever you think it might be a lot, it's probably not. So you have more control over the salt the higher you hold your hand, and that way you're not shaking a salt shaker forever. And then do it on the other side, and then do it a little bit around all the sides. Then we're going to bring a cast iron pan. You can use any pan you want, but it has to be a pan that can go from the stove to the oven at a heat of, we're preheating the oven at 400. So I'm putting a little bit of vegetable oil or other high heat oil like safflower, maybe avocado if that's what you're doing. Excuse me. So I'm going to put the fillets down once it's sizzling. So we've got a light oiled pan. It's hot, it's sizzling. The doors in my house are open, the fan is on. And FYI, the fire alarm has gone off in my house before because you do cook this at such a high heat. So that's been seared on one side for about 3 minutes. I'm going to flip it, and this side goes for another 2 to 3 minutes. The second side generally doesn't take as long. So that time has passed even though you can't see it, and at that point I'm going to add the tabs of butter and put it into the oven at 400 for about 6 to 7 minutes. I'm going to slice it. You would serve this whole, generally speaking, but you could also serve this sliced if you want. Real quick, if you were going to do a tenderloin, you would put it in the oven at the same time for about 15 minutes. So this is rested for about 5-10 minutes, and I'm going to cut into it to take off the strings. And one of these is cooked what I would call rare, and one is cooked medium rare. The smaller one is medium rare, and that's more my style. Anyway, I'm going to get the butter sauce and go ahead and zip it in. But you can, there's on my website great recipes for a plum coulis, a grape glaze, a horseradish sauce, and also a compound butter sauce. So serve it with the butter sauce. It's an easy, very simple, very fast dinner, and you can find the recipe at eatsimplefood.com. If this ends up being too rare for you, you can always throw it back in the oven. If you want to cook it even faster, go ahead and sear it again on the stovetop or cook the individual slices.